Alright guys, welcome to a new video in this advanced playlist. In this video I want to keep it actually short, but I want to talk about the importance of support and resistance in your strategy, or better to say in my strategy that I use. What is the importance now of the support and resistance? Why do I use support and resistance, and why is it so important that you use support and resistance as well? Again, I'm not here to explain to you, or actually I quickly could, in case beginners watch this. So what is support, what is resistance? For those who do not know at all, who are completely new. A support is basically a zone where price can, for now, not break through. So price will go up, then goes down, it finds support, it doesn't break through it, and suddenly price decides to go higher once again. So basically support is a floor where you cannot break through. The same like you have in your house, a floor, if you stamp your feet on the ground, you cannot break through it. That's the same with a support. And a resistance is then obviously the opposite. So for example, when prices tries to go higher, but suddenly it cannot go any higher anymore, and it starts to head down again. So what does that mean? That resistance is basically nothing more than a roof. The same roof like in your house, if you bump your fist into the roof, or take a ladder or whatever at least, and go to the roof and bump your fist on it, you cannot break through the roof. Yeah, for people who are logically thinking, you can just go out and stand on your roof. Doesn't make any sense, but in terms of perspective, you cannot break through the roof, and because you cannot break through the roof, you have to go down once again, and that's basically what a resistance is. So a support is a floor, a resistance is a roof. Very, very simple. Very simple example is, for example, here, and then we have a support zone right here, and that's basically how things work. Now I'm not going to go in full detail about this and that, but I want to tell you the importance of support and resistance, because most people only see support and resistance as zones, something that is just touched. So most people see SR as something normal, but normal slash basic basically, but not significant. So that's a little bit of the thing with support and resistance. A lot of people do not know the importance about it, and this comes mostly down to when you are trading, not necessarily investing, but mostly trading. For me, support and resistance is very simple, guys. What do I use it for? When I trade, I use my support and resistance as take profit zones. That's what I use my support and resistance for. I don't use my support and resistance for anything else besides taking profits. So let's say I'm in a trade, for example, which setup would I take myself, for example? Yeah, perfectly here. This is actually an example that I would take myself, and actually talked about in my community that on a shorter time frame we were making a reversal. But anyway, this is very simple based on my strategy, guys. I would consider this as a roughly here with the wicks a little bit. I would consider this as a support zone or resistance zone, depending on how you look at it. Resistance here could be support here. I would place one here, and I would see my structure break right here. So this would be my entry, for example. What would I do is very simple. I would enter on the retest of a structural break, place my stop loss right above the above the high, and place my take profit, for example, let's say here, in the best case scenario, because I always like to have at least 3 or 4 take profit zones, and this is as well a support zone area. So we have one zone, we have 2 zones, a support here, resistance here, and then we have one right here that we could use. Now, what would I do? If price from my entry hits this zone, I would place my stop loss to break even. If the price continues to go down, goes to my second zone, guess what I do? According to how many take profit zones that I have, I would close a percentage of my position. Let's say I have already 2 take profit zones, I would close, for example, 35% of my position or 40% of my position. And if we then eventually manage to, for example, break lower, then great. We hit our next take profit zone right here, right here, and we make some good banking. We made a 11% reward, and eventually, in the worst case, if price would start to reverse again from this point on, and we go further to the upside again, guess what's gonna happen? You're already close, let's say 35% of your position here, your stop loss is break even. So you already secured some profits, which is very important. You already secured some profits, and as price is reversing, you just get stopped out again, break even. You do not lose any money anymore, so you made money regardless. That's acting accordingly to how the market, or to what the market is providing you. That's why support and resistance zones are so important, because you never know when suddenly structure could turn bullish again and when price wants to reverse. That's why paying attention to structure and to the overall support and resistances around you are very important, because they are very important zones for you as a trader, definitely, to take some profit off the table. They are so useful to use. That's why use them as take profit zones. The same in a long position. Use resistance zones as take profit zones. Same for a short position right here. Use support zones as take profit zones, because you never fucking know when price wants to reverse once again, guys. So that's actually my take on a support or resistance zones and the importance of it. It's not just there that we could bounce off and then you should go long or this or that. No, it doesn't work like that. For me, at least, it doesn't work in my strategy like that. I use them ideally as take profit zones because I saw the highest success rate with that. And I think definitely for beginners out there that want to compound their profits, that are not too greedy to always want the big money immediately, but that they just want to calmly compound their profits. And I think this strategy, using support or resistance zones as take profit zones, can be very, very beneficial. Because again, guys, you should not forget that your goal as a trader is not to always hit all the full take profits. Your goal as a trader is to make money and get the fuck out. That's your goal as a trader. Because so many people are focused on letting their full take profit hit. They become so greedy. Or for example, price is going right here and they're like, oh, it's so close to my take profit. I should wait and hold till it hits my take profit, and suddenly, boom, price just reverses once again, and they didn't take partial profits, they didn't place their stop loss break even, they kept on risking everything, and eventually their stop loss just got hit. Trading is about having a game plan and following that game plan, guys. Understand what invalidations are of structure, when it gets invalidated again, when there is a break of structure, and why support and resistance zones are so important, because they can make you money if applied correctly. Alright guys, see you in the next video.